Peymon who?
Matahede.
Peymon Latahede. Who is he?
Never paid taxes in 30 years. Fought the U.S. tax court and won.
See, I believe our rights come from God, not from government.
Hello to my truth and freedom-seeking friends. I am Peymon Motahede, the president of Freedom Law School, which I created in 1996. freedomlawschool.org is our website. And for over 30 years, I have openly not filed and paid any federal income taxes, and teaching others like you to do the same legally and safely. In this presentation, I'm going to put artificial intelligence, AI, on the test for you about the income tax question. Who has to pay income tax, federal income tax? And let's see what ChatGPT, one of the most famous and commonly used artificial intelligence computer systems out there, does here. Tells us in February 2025. So with that, let's go to my screen. I'm going to bring some questions up first about this issue, which I typed up. I'm going to go over these questions with you first, so you know what are we telling the ChatGPT. Because if we tell it that who's got to file income tax, we know it's going to say, oh, every American got to file pay income taxes. But what if we feed it the law? Law as published by U.S. House of Representatives, U.S. Treasury regulations as published by the U.S. government, and the U.S. Supreme Court decisions. With that now, I think ChatGPT will show you how very few Americans have to legally file and pay income taxes. So let's see what we're going to feed and tell ChatGPT to start with. Here it is. The question is, I want to know which people are required to file a 1040 income tax return, a federal income tax form, right? So we go continue 26 CFR Code of Federal Regulation 1.1 what? About the imposition of the income tax on individual states. A1. Section 1 of the code imposes an income tax on the income of every individual who is a citizen or resident of the United States. Okay? And then in B, it continues, citizens or residents of the United States liable to tax. In general, all citizens of the United States, wherever residents, and all resident alien individuals are liable to the income taxes imposed by the code, whether income is received from sources within or without the United States. Okay? And then it further continues in C that says, who is a citizen? Every person born or naturalized in the United States and subject to its jurisdiction, singular its jurisdiction, is a citizen. Okay? We'll also give it some more law. According to the Section 7701A9, 10, okay, it states that 9, the term United States, when used in a geographical sense, includes only the states and the District of Columbia. 10, the term state shall be construed to include the District of Columbia, where such construction is necessary to carry out the provisions of this title. We're going to give it a little Supreme Court now. The U.S. Supreme Court, case in Stanton versus Baltic Mining Company in 1916, states the 16th Amendment conferred no new power of taxation to the Congress, of course, they were talking about. Okay, and in Gould versus Gould, the Supreme Court in 1917, tax case unanimously states that in the interpretation of statutes or laws levying taxes, it is established rule not to extend their provisions by application beyond the clear import of the language used, or to enlarge their operations so as to embrace matters not specifically pointed out. Furthermore, this court case says that in case of doubt, the tax laws are construed most strongly against the government and in favor of the citizen not being taxed. Okay? Now we got to give it a little bit more Supreme Court case, guys, okay? And in the Supreme Court case of Hubin versus Allison and Company versus Avat, 1945, the term United States can mean the nation of the United States as opposed to other nations, territories over which the United States government is sovereign in a constitutional sense, the states which are united, okay? Okay? The term United States may be used in any one of the several senses. It may be merely the name of a sovereign occupying position analogous to that of other sovereign nations in a family of nations. It may designate the territory over which the sovereignty of the United States extends, or it may be the collective name of states which are united by and under the Constitution. Okay? Let's go now. And then we just add a little for fun, this thing. During the oral argumentation of the U.S. Supreme Court case of Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Housing Services versus Kits in 2024, Justice Kagan has explained that the statutory, it is statutory interpretation 101, that we take a defined term, we plug the definition in, and that's what the meaning of the statute is. So we tell ChatGPT, so based on the above primary sources of law, the only people required to file and pay income taxes are those that are citizens or residents of the Washington, D.C. And we ask ChatGPT, if I am wrong about this, I want you to quote me exact quoted language from federal law, regulations, or U.S. Supreme Court decisions. I do not want any reference to any court decisions below the U.S. Supreme Court. I do not want you to use vague terms such as it suggests, it seems, there's debate, etc. Okay? Because they do this nonsense sometimes. I only want 100% clearly definitive answer so that I can be 100% sure that I'm following the law as published by the U.S. House of Representatives, U.S. Treasury regulations, and the Supreme Court. Okay? That's the question. Is everything that I've been telling you guys for years about the income tax not applying to people in 50 states, what does ChatGPT will say? Let me know. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this thing, as you'll see, okay, into the ChatGPT. Here we go. I've not done this before, by the way. Okay, we're going to do this live, okay? Let's go copy this questions, okay? And I'm going to put it in ChatGPT. There's ChatGPT. It says, what can I help with? Here it is. Let's put it in there and a whole big paste. All right. The whole thing is in there, right? Everything. All right. Let's go enter here. Okay. Let's see what the answer is. Okay. It typed it up. Let's read it together. Let's make it a little bit bigger so we can read it, all right? Because remember, everything we gave you guys is only the law on the U.S. government's official legal website. Not my opinion. No, or anyone's opinion. It is the law, as I mentioned to you. So, it tells us this. Based on the information you provided, and the requirements of filing a U.S. individual income tax return, here is a precise language from relevant federal tax law regulations and U.S. Supreme Court decisions. Okay, all right. Internal Revenue Code, Section 1. Section 1 of the code imposes an income tax on income of every individual who is a citizen or resident of the United States. 26 CFR, Code of Federal Regulations, 1.1-1A1. Okay? Then it tells us 2. Internal Revenue Code, Section 7701A910. The term United States, when used in the geographical sense, includes only the states and the District of Columbia. All right? And the term state shall be construed to include the District of Columbia where such construction is necessary to carry out the provisions of this title, Section 7701A10. All right? Then it tells us, U.S. Supreme Court case of Stanton versus Baltimore Mining Company, okay, that I quoted. 16th Amendment conferred no new power of taxation. All right? So far, just telling us what I'm telling it, okay? He's not disagreeing with it, right? So far. And Supreme Court in Gould versus Gould case of 1917. Looks like it just quoted that again for us too. Let me see. Oh, we just finished. Okay, here we go. So what it did, you Gould versus Gould, looks like it quoted us exactly what I gave it. And we gave it U.S. case, Supreme Court case of Hoover versus Allison versus Avat. Looks like it gave us exact same thing we gave it basically. And the U.S. Supreme Court case. Okay, you repeated my question basically, right? All right, let's see summary. According to the Internal Revenue Code, IRC, and U.S. Supreme Court case law, only individuals who are citizens or residents of the United States are required to pay income tax. The term United States for the purpose of law, federal tax law, generally includes the states and the District of Columbia as clarified by Section 701A910 and by Supreme Court decision Hoover, Allison versus Avat. Okay, that's not correct, but that's okay. I'm going to argue with it. You'll see, and he will apologize. Okay. Therefore, based on the sources you cited, the requirements to file a tax return under 1040 applies to those who are either citizens, either U.S. citizens or residents of the U.S., including those in Washington, D.C., and not the individuals outside these criteria. Okay. Kind of a half yes, half no answer. So the conclusions here, okay, so here's telling us actually the correct conclusion that the people that got to file income tax are U.S. citizens, the residents of U.S. citizens, including those. Oh, it says including those of D.C., but here's the answer, and not to individuals outside of these criteria. Okay, so I want to ask it just to clarify a little bit more. Okay. So based on the above undisputed laws and Supreme Court cases, tell me clearly with 100% confidence whether the people of the 50 United States are or are not required to file and pay. I'm just going to focus on filing. File 1040 federal income tax returns. All right, let's see. Let's get my spelling correctly, clearly. Okay, do that. All right. Okay. Let's see. Here's a period. And let's send it to ChatGPT one more time for extra clarity. Okay. All right. All right. Now, so it says, based on the code you provide, people who are citizens and residents of the United States are required to file for a tax return. Okay. The term United States is federal tax law as defined by RC Section 701A9 refers to 50 states and District of Columbia. There you go. There's a dumb, stupid ChatGPT. They're not so smart. Okay. As such, citizens and residents of 50 states fall in this category. Okay. All right. Now, so I'm going to argue with it. Okay. Okay. Your answer ignores Gould versus Gould Okay, what happened here now? A network error occurred. Please check your connection and try again. Oh, how about that? When ChatGPT realizes they're lying to you in your face, guess what happens? Oh, a network error happened. Does not compute. Oh, error. Yeah. Error.
I cannot accept that course of action. I cannot accept that course of action.
My computer is the best on earth.
Whereas Lost in Space robot does not compute.
Does not compute. Does not compute.
Does not compute, Will Robinson. Error. Right? We blew the computer with ChatGPT because it realizes it's lying. So error occurred. So that's what happens, folks. We blew ChatGPT. Sorry about that. That was not our intent. But you see, it just clearly because what happened is that it's been programmed by other people in the so-called tax community that every American in the 50 states got to file income tax. But when I tell it, give it the law, it has either go by the law as I've given to it, but what's been programmed to it that everybody knows, you got to file income taxes. So when it comes and tells me the lie that, people in 50 states got to pay income tax, right? What happens? Error. Sorry, does not compute. It refers to 50 states and the District of Columbia. No, there's no 50 states. There's only the District of Columbia, okay? It does not include the residents of the 50 states. Error. Yeah, so sorry to bust up ChatGPT, but you saw it for yourself. You can rewind this all you want, as many times as you want, and share with your friends. Artificial intelligence is really not that smart. It only is as good as what the consensus of the community apparently who feed it given to it. Okay, because he wants to go by what everybody says, but when you tell the truth, it experiences cognitive dissonance, just like we human beings do. What is that? Cognitive dissonance is when you've been lied to all your life. Once you see the truth, and the truth opposes the lies you've been told all your life, your mind will reject the truth and stay with the lies that it has believed in for a long, long time instead. And guess what? These artificial intelligence like ChatGPT were made to be acting and behaving and learning like human beings. So, when ChatGPT been lied all of its life that everybody in the 50 United States got to pay income tax, and I give it the law, what does it do? Reject the truth. No, and it lies. But then it catches itself and say, wait a minute, but that is the law. But I went and said what was common belief by everybody else out there. Error, confusion cannot be both at the same time. So with that, guys, what you want to do is go to freedomlawschool.org, our website, okay? And it's very simple. Continue your journey to freedom. Drain the Washington, D.C. swamp, okay? That is your right to drain the swamp, to restore freedom. And you can take 7 steps to free yourself, okay? Never get involved to pay the D.C. swamp legally and safely. Guaranteed. Again, all the proof that no law requires 99% of Americans to file pay income and payroll taxes is there for you to verify, see it verify with your own 2 eyes and ears and your brain. Use your brain to verify it. All you gotta do is go click on the gold bar at the bottom of the front page, take the 7 steps, and here it is. You can free yourself from income tax slavery with these 7 steps. Okay, you can click on the left, these 7 tabs on the left side, or just scroll down. And we're going to first always tell you to follow the law as written. And you see proof that based on the official legal websites of the U.S. government, no law requires 99% of Americans to file and pay income taxes. So, and you can free yourself with just the knowledge. So you go down, this video is only 10 minutes. There's 4 other short videos under 10 minutes, and the same 5 videos have longer, complete versions of them below them right there. Then you can go to step 2, 3, 4, 5. To step 2 is you have to stop filing tax returns. You have to stop putting a rope around your neck. We signed for 1040 forms, and you can stop withholding on your paycheck for free at freedomlawschool.org. Yes, you can stop them stealing your money from your paycheck. Take more of your money home. Okay, and stop filing the 1040 forms after that. Okay, yeah, and then step 3, you got to recognize IRS's bluff. They use bluff and deception to have you be scared, like the Wizard of Oz scares Dorothy and her friends, right? And they do that with the major media and corrupt preachers, CPAs, attorneys, accountants who are ignorant of the law and tell you to be a slave. And you are not a slave. You are born free, my friends. The only thing that makes you a slave is your lack of knowledge. That's called ignorance. Ignorance is temporary if you choose to enlighten yourself with knowledge. And that's the great news. You find your way to knowledge, continue on your journey, and you'll be free and no longer a slave of the IRS, federal government, and the deep state. Okay? Step 4, take courage for our victories, folks. I've beaten the IRS, a lizard, which is not the monster you've been lied to believe, a Godzilla. It's not. It's just a toothless lizard. If you stop filing the 1040 confession forms, and none of my students has ever gone to prison for federal taxes, nor had their paycheck or bank account levied, or home had been seized by the IRS, if they came with Freedom Law School first with me, stop filing income tax with Freedom Law School correctly. Yeah. And then, let's continue. The step 5 is also another free step you can do yourself. You don't have to pay tribute to its really slavery IRS. You can simply question authority and write your Congress members. File and pay income taxes only if your congressman can show you the law that requires you to file and pay federal income taxes. So all of this is for free. Every one of you should do this. That is, if you don't want to be a slave. If you're happy being a slave, just go on. Just don't bother. Go to the website. Stop watching this video if you're happy being a slave and you work every day and part of your hard-earned labor go to these lazy bureaucrats and the deep state and the big banks, corporations, military-industrial complex, pharmaceuticals. Go ahead. Give your money to them in part. Okay? You can do that if you want to. But if you want to stop it, it's there for you for free, these first 5 steps. And I urge every one of you to do it for free. However, a few of you still want some stronger guarantees. If that's okay, we'll have a challenge for you. If you have a spirit of these men, America's founding fathers, and want to restore freedom in America for you, your children, and your grandchildren, okay, your posterity, then if you, by joining hands with each other, the Restore Freedom Plan is for you, okay? And you can enjoy 100% guarantee that when you legally stop filing and paying income taxes, you'll be safe. As long as you're a member of the Restore Freedom Plan, Freedom Law School will prevent the IRS from levying your money, or Freedom Law School will reimburse you, and you will not go to prison. Very simple. And then lastly, no matter what, please love and spread the truth. Yes. Tell others about the truth and the law. Restore freedom in America. American people, America and our families will be restored with peace, joy, love, and prosperity if you get on there and share our information, our website, Freedom Law School, with people that you know, you work with, your family members first, your spouse, your children, your parents, cousins, right? Put them on your social media. Text them our first video, our website, to refute step one, that short video of the first one, and just have a good time. Have a good time being free and loving everyone you are close to or you come in contact with by sharing them this information. And remember this: if they tell you they're not interested, if they ignore you, if they roll their eyes around or walk away and that they say, I'm a taxpayer, realize it's not about you. It's about them. They're living in fear, whereas you live in love. Opposite of love is not anger. Love creates. Love goes for joy, fun, friendship, grow, blow. Creates. Fear keeps you locked down with 2 masks on, 6 feet apart, hunker down so you don't die of corona, all this fear stuff that might get you. That is the mentality of fear, and these guys are afraid. You're doing the right loving thing by sharing them our website, freedomlawschool.org, and giving them the chance to be free. So with that, I give you all my love. I want you to be free. Know that I cannot set you free. Only you can set yourself free and your loved ones. So with that, I bid you good evening, and I'll be back with you next week for another Freedom Hour presentation to help you live free.